What's going on, guys? Kind of a little bit of a different video today. I guess I say that a lot now, but I've had some conversations recently and it kind of has taken me back to something I've covered before. I've done videos like what is the best steel, there is no best, etc, etc, etc. Basically, meaning context. Context is king. Just like in real estate, they say location, location, location. In communication and in this community, and when we communicate, context, context, context. So why do I have these random items here on the table? Starting back, well, I'll start with this here. And I actually recently I had a conversation about this knife. I was half joking with the guy, and because this is a Z-Ware S&G, pretty rare, it's the best steel, etc, etc, etc. This is a very sought after knife, and basically I was half joking with the guy. I told him, even if you put enough zeros in the offer, oh no. I said to him, I didn't know you had won the lottery, but if you put enough zeros in the offer, anything is possible in order for you to get the knife. So he replies back that he was ready, meaning he had the money and he was willing to pay. And I told him, even if he could put enough zeros in the offer, this knife is just a knife that I prefer, I like, I use all the time. This is not a knife that's for sale pretty much regardless of the price, unless it would have been something stupid. I mean, some kind of crazy number. Anything is for sale, as they say. But the conversation around this knife is always how great this steel is. But when you tell people this steel is in the same family as Crewware or 3V, etc, 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 then that adds context and it demystifies the steel a little bit. So just context with that. A little bit more recent than that, I made a post about sharpening my knives and everything, and basically the whole point of the post, the very basics of the post was, hey guys, look, I'm sharpening. I'm trying. I've done the wicked edge thing for a while, but I'm trying to go back and get my freehanding skills up. I know the thing I always hear is sharpening is hard. I don't know where to start. I don't know what equipment to buy. Just jump out there. Just start. Even if you just sharpen some old, dull, rusty kitchen knives, start. You're gonna get so much benefit from being able to sharpen your own knives. Well, a guy jumps in. And I don't know how this conversation came about, but somehow that conversation that all of us were having got co-opted and moved towards, well, fixed guided systems are the best. Okay, we weren't talking about that, but I'll also talk to you about that a little bit. And then I laid out some things like the simple fact that, and granted, this is only one stone, but most people would tell you maybe not this 1,000 grit stone, but maybe like a 500 grit stone or something of that nature would be a good one stone option if you just need to get a knife sharp in the field. I can pick this up. I can carry this. I can put this on a damp towel on a surface no different than this. Wet this stone in the sink, and I can sharpen no problems. Yeah, this stone probably weighs 2 pounds. It's pretty heavy, but it's doable. If I wanted to sharpen with a fixed system, I have a Wicked Edge commercial. It's probably 40 pounds. It's a pretty heavy system. You're not going to carry it around. It's not meant to be carried around. But let's say you even had something like a KME, etc., etc. It's not nearly as compact, slim, lightweight, etc. as this freehanding option is. That's one thing right there that's gonna, depending on your needs, again, context, that's gonna rule some things out. The other thing that we discussed in that thread of comments was a lot of us were expressing the fact that we wish we would have focused on hand sharpening, because freehand sharpening, because this is just so much more. What's the word I'm looking for? There are just so many more options with freehand sharpening. I'm not locked into only a range of 15 degrees to 35 degrees per side. I'm not locked into this system where If the knife, the thickness of the knife changes as you go towards the tip. Now my bevel, it's thin back here, but it's thick up here. With this, I can control all of that. I can control the exact edge angle. I can control how consistent my bevels are. Of course, I'm talking to somebody that's experienced, but that was the whole point. Get out, start sharpening, get some experience. He turned that into a total crap show because why I still don't know to this day, because the whole point of the conversation was, guys, there's just so much to be gained from sharpening your knives. I know a lot of people are I don't want to say intimidated, but a lot of people delay sharpening because they feel like it's something that's too big to grasp. Just get out there and start. And I still say that in this video. If you don't know how to sharpen your knife, and my next video is going to be on that. If you don't know how to sharpen your knife, just get out there, start, even if it's on a $3 Walmart kitchen knife. Just start. But like I said, that got turned into a whole different thing because the context, the person wasn't reading the context. This light, this was the latest thing. I made a post. The post wasn't even about the light. It was just a gear dump. I literally was asked, what are you carrying? And I pulled out exactly what I was carrying that day, put it down. In that carry happened to be this light. I got a comment expressing how expensive, and again, I'm going to put expensive in quotes because context, how expensive this light was, and basically asking, why would anybody even buy a light that's so expensive? Again, context. Come to find out, this guy apparently is not in the market. He's not in the demographic. He's not in that budget for a light of this type. There's nothing wrong with that. That is why they make so many different things in our hobby, in different types of tools. All these are tools at the end of the day. However, the context was lost because it just came down to price. So we also can't always look at things. I hear it about things like, knives. Man, $200 for a knife, and no, I know this is not a $200 knife. $200 for a knife, that's ridiculous. I could buy a buck knife and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Absolutely you can, but what is the context of your perspective? If the person is talking to you about a knife that is of higher fit and finish, is more serviceable, it has a company that is going to stand behind the knife, possibly a little bit more. Maybe there are some upgrades in steel, etc., etc., etc. Is that your context? Or are you just saying, hey, I just need a knife in my pocket. I just need to, cut twine, cut envelopes, cut, whatever during my day. And I really don't care as long as I can sharpen the knife and use it, because half the time I'm out in the field and I might drop the knife and need to replace it. So a $35 knife is all I need. That's the context of your comment, but we don't express context in what we say. Best, I alluded to best. I can't tell you how many times I've heard the word best used in this hobby. This is the best light. This is the best stone. This is the best type of stone. This is the best steel. Take that how you want it, either Z-Wares in particular or tool steel as a category. There is no best, guys. There is no best. Everything comes back to context. What do you need? What is your budget? What are your uses? Period. That's all everything comes back to. And I don't know, I hope I'm preaching to the choir, but it seems like the more interactions that are had or that I witness, the context is lacking, and then people end up leaving that conversation with a misunderstanding or with hard feelings one way or the other, when both people were expressing valid opinions, but the context that those opinions were being rolled out with was not framed. And I don't know, maybe I'm just insane. Maybe I'm too much of a context guy, but like I said, with steels, with what type of light you want, you need, what you need out of a light. Do you want a freehand? Do you want a fixed system? What are your purposes for sharpening? Are you going to be mobile? Are you going to be stationary, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? All of those things matter in the context of a conversation, and all of those things are going to change the outcome, the answers that someone is going to give you in a conversation. So Love to hear what you guys have to say about context. I know this was a little bit long. If you didn't like it, sorry. You know, guys know if you've been here long enough, I do videos kind of as I see fit, and this one just was on my mind.